Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, we've got Ram playing in a Z-46. Plainly, this is a ranked match. We've got some tier 9s and a couple of tier 8s. Pretty brutal. Alaska and Riga and Kitakaza. Z-46 is a good ship, but you have to play it really well to be effective with it, at least in my opinion. You can see that the torpedoes have decent range, right? Not great, decent, 10 kilometers. So you can find yourself getting caught in radar. I would say much more often than if you're playing, say, a Gearing or Holland, Estergötland, anything with a little bit more range. Arguably even Shimakaze with 12-kilometer torpedoes or Yugamo. 10 kilometers, it's tough to land torpedoes. It's not impossible, but it is tough. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Ram does here. Now, I have to say, Ram is a good player, and he definitely knows his stuff. And when he's focused, he is a pretty darn good DD player. So I'm guessing this is probably one of those games, since he sent me the replay file. And I'm pretty happy about that, because I think Z-46 is a lot of fun to play. It was one of my favorites. Now, granted, you know, the Z-52 is an improvement, but I liked the Z-46. It was a big step up from the Z-23. If you've played that line, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And there's the radar that I mentioned. I can't really tell which, well, I guess we know which way Riga's guns are pointed now. Yeah, that hurt. And Riga slammed on the brakes, trying to get off another shot, but that's not going to happen. And Ram is in position to secure the Bravo cap early. That's really cool. That's great. And if Riga keeps moving forward, well, I don't guess there's much chance of those torpedoes connecting, but one can hope. And rather than pushing out right away, Ram reverses, makes sure that he doesn't get hit again, and secures the cap before he pushes around the corner. Now Kitakaze, I'm not sure about the reason for the smoke. Kitakaze may have already thrown all of his torpedoes. Yeah, I think that smoke might have been a little bit of a wasted one, but that's okay. I mean, it's especially in the early going, sometimes it's better to play safer rather than being sorry. Oof, there's another radar. But Musashi, well, Musashi's moving away, so probably won't land any torpedoes there. Just have to hope that the Alaska doesn't radar. Now you can see the friendly Pommern is coming down into this area. He's going to start taking a lot of fire. And there's Kansas,
Maschinenboost deaktiviert.
Riga, Musashi, Kitakaze. And Ram says, you know, I think I'm just going to head back this way and let Pommern take a beating. And I think that's probably a really good call. Now, if you haven't played the German destroyer line, you're probably thinking, why does it say 18 seconds now? Well, German smokes don't last very long. And Riga pokes his head out around the corner. And Ram says, that's good timing because my torpedoes are back up. I think I probably would keep getting a little bit closer just to make sure the torpedoes can get there. As it is, Pommern would have to continue to push in, but I think there's a good chance of landing at least one on the Pommern. And Kansas right behind him. If Kansas angles this way too, then maybe multiple torpedo hits. Let's hope. And so what is the enemy team doing? Well, they're trying to screen the torpedoes out of the game. Yeah, Pommern, he's not long for this world. Probably new. I mean, who knows? But probably a new player. I'll just rush in and YOLO. So Pomeran avoided any damage. Now there's somebody in the Alpha Cap. Yeah, it's going to get there. So Kansas is going to eat a face full of torpedoes. So he eats 2, and that's it's not a lot, but it's a little bit of damage. It's better than nothing, right? And that Pomeran is he's just going to get sunk. Bullhead, I'd say you might have a little bit to learn about this game. Not that I don't, but YOLOing in and into a 3v1, that's generally speaking not going to be the answer to whatever your problem is. Ram hits the speed boost, gonna try and outrun some shells, probably a good idea. Yep, probably saved him taking a lot more damage there. And gets himself out of radar range, still taking a little bit of miscellaneous fire. And might catch the Alaska there, that was a nice drop. Come on out, Alaska. Yeah, you got nothing to worry about. Everything's good, come on. Yeah, I think you're gonna land at least 1, that's really great. So that'll be 3, maybe 4 torpedo hits. Okay, yeah, so that's 2 on the Alaska, a total now of 4 torpedo hits. And Alaska's flooding, that's really great. And Ram says, okay, you guys want to push into the middle? I'll play in the middle. There's another radar, hard to know who that is, Riga or Alaska, but either way, it's a tough spot to be when you're in Z-46. Now, Alaska's radar lasts a good while. I don't know that the smoke's going to do much good here, but Ram is just trying to maneuver to avoid getting sunk. And radar goes down. Ram managed to survive, at least so far, right? Got to keep angling. Got to keep turning. Don't stay in a straight line, even when you're out of sight, because they will keep hitting you. Okay, so there's a nice torpedo hit. Let's hope that's a flood. No, no flooding. And Ram says, okay, well, I guess I better get out of the middle. So both teams now have a cap. Good guys have a roughly 30-point lead. Dodgy Nick and the Massachusetts kind of keeping his distance. You can hear he's got his guns working. Just probably wisely did not want to get himself caught in the crossfire and end up the way the Pomeran did. And Ram says, okay, Pomeran, you want to push into the middle? Here are some more torpedoes for you. Pomeran looks like he's going to be heading... No, is he turning? Yeah, he is turning, I think. Is it? Well, maybe not. He's going to have to turn a little bit, I think, to get in the cap. But he's come to a stop, so I think he felt a disturbance in the force. All right, so we're 8 minutes and roughly 20 seconds into the game. Ram's got just shy of 50,000 damage on 5 torpedo hits with 4 floods, and he did pick up a cap. But right now the bad guys have both the Alpha and the Charlie cap. Now Ram, if he gets closer here, he can use this island. There's another torpedo hit. So the Pomeran did inch forward just enough, and Ram is in a position. I might even switch to the AP here. The German AP is pretty good, even in the Z-46. Sticks with the HE and goes to work. And that's what he needed right there. Get another fire, that'd be really good. And that's it. Down goes Pomeran. Ram still has 7,300 HP. Picks up his first kill, 63,000 damage, let's call it. Kitakaze looks like he's making a run at the Massachusetts. And Ram says, alright, that's fine. You try to kill the Massachusetts and I'll just get in position to try and help kill you. Now, the Kitakaze is almost certainly going to either run right at Massachusetts or run away from him, right? Looks like he's running right at him, so Ram drops the torps along that line, hoping to catch the Kitakaza. And if the Kitakaza is making a full speed run at the Massachusetts, if one of those torpedoes is in the right line, he will not be able to avoid it in time. No, Kitakaza's turned out. And Ram is going to play a little beach party bingo here, I think.
Nebelwerfer gestartet.
Picks up a few hits on the Kitakaza. Ooh, come on, Massachusetts. Oof, Massachusetts eats one right up the tailpipe. Dodging it, trying to get out of there. And Ram decides hanging out in the smoke with an Alaska pushing may not be the best way to go. Kitakaza is almost certainly going to get out of that smoke, right? I mean, he's not going to sit there. Yep, there's the proof. So maybe Ram will get him with this now. I think I would probably have, no, other way. I think I probably would have run at the Kitakaza. You can see his engine's broken. It's not going to matter. This is going to be a kill. And that's going to be it for the Kitakaza. Dodgy Nick picks him off. And Dodgy Nick is still in the game. Good guys now have 4 ships. Bad guys are down to 2. Now the bad guys still have a 2 cap to 1 advantage. And Alaska's put himself in kind of a rough spot there. He's almost out of HP. He's got the Alaska B and the Musashi both just pounding on him. And down he goes to the Alaska B. 3 ships to 2 now. The Massachusetts in very rough shape. Probably a good idea just to try to stay out of harm's way, but can't hide from all the shells and does get finished off. The Alaska radar is up. And Lion says, oh, I think I've had enough of that. Nice shot, Captain Talon 69, finishing off the Alaska. And that's going to make things really, really tricky for the Musashi, who doesn't really have any way to do a thing about Ram and the Z-46. So Ram's sitting at about 65,000 damage right now, 6 torpedo hits, 5 floods, 1 solo cap, 21 shells on target, and a kill. Not too shabby. We're roughly 12 and a half minutes in. And barring a miracle, this Musashi he's probably going to go down to torpedoes here. Now Ram does have to be careful. Ooh, that's ugly. It looks like Lion showed broadside to the Musashi, which I do not understand. And Ram says, I am not pushing straight in at the Musashi. Good choice. Loses a torpedo to the edge of the island there. And is he going to catch the Musashi maybe on the nose with one? I think he is. Maybe 2. No, 3. Oh, that's going to be great. Really great. 27 seconds till torpedoes come back up. And Ram says, I'm just going to move in here and try and get this cap. Now, as it stands right now, Ram really kind of has to kill the Musashi. 6 minutes left in the game. And there's no way really that Ram is going to get 2 caps here without getting himself blapped. It's just not going to happen. So he's going to have to sink the Musashi. And Musashi, knowing that, says, I'm going to put planet in the air.
Nebelwerfer gestartet.
Now, of course, Musashi knows right where Ram is at, and will angle accordingly. He had HE ready. I'd say the Musashi player is somebody who knows the game a little bit. Now, I think I would run straight toward the island and then angle left and throw the torpedoes out around the right side of the island. And Ram's got, I think, the right idea about where to put the torps, but I think I would have run the other direction, but well, maybe he is. Just going to get awfully close to Musashi if Musashi turns this way. You can see the Musashi aircraft is up there, so he's running the risk of being spotted, but Musashi has turned away, and he's not going to show his nose right there. Ram just working to try and maybe start another fire. You can see the Alaska. Just run, he says. Well, no. Just run loses you the game. Musashi is backed up into the cap. Ram's going to be able to put torpedoes right up his tailpipe here in about 8 seconds. I think I'd just slow all the way to a stop here, get the torpedoes away, and then you can fall back. Keep him, I would keep him visible. Don't go behind the island. Oh, well, may not matter. Musashi does not accelerate particularly well, and if Musashi repairs that fire, and it looks like he did, even if the torpedoes don't kill him, he's going to flood out. If even one of them hits him. So cross your fingers, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. And that is the game. There's no way for Musashi to stop that. Great game, Ram. Really great game. Thanks for sending in the replay, brother. This was a fun one to watch. Those of you joining me, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this as much as me. Well, I guess this really isn't over, but I can't imagine the Musashi surviving this. Ooh, now there's a fire too. So again, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Again, Ram, really, really great game. I'll see you next time.